Been in the house for the last couple hours doing my YouTube comments and checking my email. Sometimes it takes 2 hours for me to go through my email, but I try like the devil to answer everybody's comments, and when I get the time I try to watch a lot of other people's videos. If you're one of my regular people that I watch, I'll stream your videos on my Roku at night after I get comfortable in my easy chair. This definitely looks like it could snow up an unexpected amount here, but I don't think we're going to get much. Somebody told me on YouTube a while ago it's snowing like crazy up in Jasper, Georgia. Being familiar with Jasper up there towards the mountains, I believe him, it's quite possible. Jasper brings to mind, I used to go up Highway 5 when my parents had a farm in Blue Ridge, or Morganton, just out of Blue Ridge, Georgia. Jasper brings to mind some of the many trips I used to take up there and up Highway 5. You can go up there on the expressway now. And then again, Highway 5 is probably 4-lane. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been up that way. But what brings to mind in Jasper, what I remember the most was I took my boat to Blue Ridge Lake. I had a outboard. We have to take our trash to the garbage around here, and she's headed to the dump before the snow accumulates. Where was I at in my story? Oh, I had an old boat, had a McCullough engine on it. Bought that thing used from the guy up in Marietta, and took it to Blue Ridge Lake. Had a good time zipping around the lake out there. Got out in the middle of the lake and saw water coming in the back of the boat. One of the bolts that hold the motor on was bolted to the transom in the back. One of the bolts had come out, and I had this steady stream of water shooting in the boat. How big as your finger. It took long to fill the boat up. I mean, it was sure got your feet wet in a hurry. Couldn't think, what am I going to plug this up with? I had a big wad of chewing gum in my mouth, and I reached over the back of that transom and plugged that chunk of chewing gum up in that hole and stopped that water from coming in. And on the way back to the dock, I realized my motor all the bolts were loose in that motor, and it was just wobbling around and shaking. I hope we get back to the boat trailer before it gets even worse. I finally got to the boat trailer. I had 4 streams of water shooting in there, but still had 3 bolts holding it. And I got that thing up on the trailer, and I'm coming back down the road, coming through Jasper, Georgia. Dang, the wheel bearing didn't go out. I looked in the mirror, a side mirror, and saw smoke coming off the wheel bearing of the trailer. I said, boy, I made a mistake buying this used boat. It was an auto parts place there in Jasper, and I went over there and bought a wheel bearing for that trailer. Didn't have any tools in the car, but I found a pipe wrench, and I managed to wrestle that nut that holds the bearing on the axle off. Bought a can of grease and a bearing, put a new bearing on there, and the threads were all screwed up. Couldn't get the nut back on that, hold that bearing on that axle. I finally got it started, but I couldn't turn it without forcing it. I had a pipe wrench with me, fortunately. I just kept jumping up and down on that nut until it would tighten up. Put your weight on it, push, and you could force it on there. And I forced that nut up on that axle. Got the bearing fairly tight. Throwed that pipe wrench in the back of the car and went on to Marietta, Georgia. And when I sold that boat, I know what it was. I traded it in on another boat. But when I got rid of it, it still had that old bearing. I feel sorry for anybody that ever buys this boat or winds up owning it. They're going to play heck replacing that bearing on that axle. But I was shed of it. I don't know how I got off on that story. I appreciate you listening, my friends.